everybody, welcome to Wool Maven. This is Kathy, and on today's video, we're going to talk about when to card and when to comb. And this is inspired by, I just started a podcast called Wool Maven Handspinning, and I've recorded 2 episodes, and the first episode the first episode was about what got me into handspinning. But after that, I just recorded when you should use what tool for what purpose when you're trying to fiber prep. So I'm working with one of our fleeces right now, and let me show you some of the picked over fleece. So I've opened it up and pulled out not all of the bad bits, but you can see there's a not so great tip, and there's still a little bit of vegetable matter in here. But this is, for the most part, decent enough to go on the carder. And that is the point of today's video, is how do you decide if you want to comb or card? So hopefully you can see this. This is, I'll just take it off. Right on the wheel right now is some roving. And if you can see through the light there, which I can from this direction, I'm not sure about you, you can see little bits and pieces, and it's kind of a crazy town arrangement in there. That's because this is roving. So I thought, well, hey, what if this fiber might actually do better combed? So I have a set of, I think they're called Dutch combs. One's a stationary comb and just one actual swing it around comb. The other one's like a little mini hackle. But anyway, I gave that a shot and see what would happen. So let me grab. So here is just the 3 little nests of the comb top. And this is actually comb top since I combed it here. And let me undo one to give you a little bit better idea. Looks like I tore a bit off. But you can see the fibers are, for the most part, oops, got them running away, pretty well aligned, but still pretty bouncy. Right, this definitely didn't smooth it out a ton, because that's kind of not going to happen with this fiber. But I wanted to see if I'd like it better, because I thought, maybe I would. Here's another little one. And the reason these nests are small, that's just the amount of fiber I had on the combs. There's another one to show you. And it removed the vast majority of the vegetable matter and combed it out beautifully. You don't see any of the little snarls in here that you did when I showed you what I was spinning from. But to get this amount of comb top, I also got this amount of, not really rejects, but stuff left on the comb. So that's let me ball that up a little bit better. That's a fairly noticeable amount, especially since this I kind of crammed down and this is still fluffy. So let me show you the roving I normally use is like this. I tend to like pieces like this, which come off of, this is half of a bat. So it'd be double wide, and then I tend to like to split it. And you can see for the most part, the fibers do go this way, but there's still a lot of crazy town tornado type action in here. And then I like to spin either from this, and to tell you the truth, probably more like this. So back to the point of this story is, should you comb or should you card? To tell you the truth, that fiber that I use was, and I'll grab a piece of it, this is on, the longer end of what the staples would be. So it's not a long fiber, and it's fairly crimpy. So it could definitely go, if you're willing to work with it on the combs, it can go on the combs. You don't have a ton of extra, but it is doable. And I've also hand carded the first like experimental batch I did. And then I prefer to drum card actually, because once I figure out that I like hand carding, or I like it carded, to me, if I'm going to do it, I might as well put it on the drum card because I have it, I like it. So so this size locks and this style, they did work for both. But to tell you the truth, I just really preferred the carded. It just works better. And then I'm working on like a short woolen draw, and what you'll get is this just kind of sticks together. I'm back to the roving again, and see how it's kind of like cobwebby glued together. So when you draft it out, it holds itself, so I can spin a lot of air into this yarn, and I really like it. Whereas I'll grab out one of the comb tops again, and just a teeny bit of drafting, and look how much straighter and finer that is. Which, if that's what you want, super, super, but it's just not what I'm shooting for with this one. So I decided to go with carded rather than combed. On the plus side, like I said, I had the option, which is always nice, because sometimes you try one and wow, it just doesn't work. But if you're considering combing something that you haven't combed before, give it a shot, because like I said, this is fairly short fibers and it did work. You know, these are, once again, I showed you kind of the longer end of the locks. So I'd hate to try something a whole lot shorter than this, but these did work. And those combs, they're not overly fine or anything, but I've actually put longer Angora rabbit on there. So they will surprise you what you can put on there. And they are my preferred method. I have a California Variegated Mutant fleece. It's like a light grayish tan kind of color. And beautiful, beautiful, super fine feeling to me. I don't know the actual microns, but wonderful, wonderful fine fleece. You wouldn't think combing it when you look at it, or at least when you read about it, you think you'd have to card. This does beautifully, beautifully well on the combs. So you never know. You should give it a shot. But for this fleece, and it is, if you don't know, our home flock is mostly Dorset based. There's a little fin in there, some polypay. What I'm feeling mostly right now, I'd call more heavy Dorset. But it just seems to be working better for me on the cards, between the actual fiber prep and then working with the spinning. I really like the carded, so I'm going to stick with it. Well, that's what we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. As I mentioned, I am starting a podcast. It should be out in the next couple weeks, so I'd love to have you listen in. I also have a Facebook page if you want to hit me up. I answer questions if you have them. The name of the Facebook page is Handspinning Yarn with a spinning wheel. A little generic, I know, but it should be easy to find. So thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.